Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pathfinder adventure card game scenario. This is scenario 4.3 over at the Earthworks with the character Drelm. We're at this location. On your check that has the electricity trait, remove any one die. Alright, so Drelm's hand is all set. We will advance the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of the Elements, and we will explore. We get a Noxious Bomb, so Intelligence Craft 5. Drelm's intelligence is a d6. Oh, cool. Hey, so we acquire this boon. That's pretty nifty. You know, we like it. We're going to keep it. And we'll go ahead and we will use... I got two ways to explore. I'm going to use Maga Three Fingers. I'm going to discard her to explore the location. Okay, and we get to this scenario's villain, which is the Thundercloud of Set. I know in level 3, the Earthworks had the Thundercloud of Set, and also in level 4, because there are a dearth of villains, or henchmen, or foes, or enemies, or monsters that have the electricity trait. But anywho, it's a Combat 21, immune to electricity and poison trait, so there's an after you act effect. And, okay, so we can go ahead and we will try to defeat this villain. So we have the Natron Fang in our hand, which is strength through melee plus 1d8 plus 1. Or what we can do is we have the Death Grip spell in our hand. So looking at what we can do, the Death Grip is 2d8, it's going to be 3d8 plus our Divine Skill. The Natron Fang is just going to be 2 dice plus our melee skill. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the Death Grip spell, because we can ignore any non-villain monster's power that happens after you act. So we can go ahead and forget about the after you act effect. So Death Grip it is. So assembling our dice, it's a d8 for our wisdom. Then Death Grip is another 2d8. And what we're doing is we are adding, we are going to add our Divine Skill. Alright, so that's it. So 3d8, and we're adding 5 to this roll. And when it says here, at this location, on your check that has the electricity trait, remove any one die. So we actually have to remove a die. It's only going to be 2d8 plus 5. So that means that, wow, that's going to be pretty... That is going to be difficult. Let's see. I think that... Yeah, I think that's going to be our best bet. So this, we can also try using this Noxious Bomb. With the Death Grip spell, it's just going to be 2d8 plus 5. Here, we can use our Dexterity, which is d6, plus 2d6. We can discard a card to add our Craft skill, so we can add another d4. So here, we can do 3d6. But 3d6, there's no way we're going to be able to get 21. So the Noxious Bomb is not going to help us out at all. Okay, Death Grip it is. Rolling 2d8, we're adding 5 to this roll. Let's see what happens. So we rolled a 3, 4, 5 plus 5 is 10. So we completely failed that roll. So it says here, but we did use the Death Grip. So it says here, we can ignore any non-villain monster's power that happens after you act. So we can still ignore that after you attack effect. If undefeated, each character is dealt 1d4 damage. So it says here, so I would assume that not only do we have to take damage there, we have Advocate's Armor. We can reveal this card to reduce, we can banish this card to reduce electricity damage to 0, or we can just bury it. So we'll bury it, so we take 0 damage, but we still have to take 1d4 damage. I'm assuming the Thundercloud of Set is hitting us twice. That's how I'm going to play this card. So we have to take 2 points of damage more. So we'll lose the Noxious Bomb, and we'll lose the Tomb Raider as damage. We're going to go ahead and roll to see if we recharge our Death Grip spell. And we really need to make this check here. So we do recharge Death Grip. Okay. We're going to need to do our Death Grip Blessing of Pharasma combo once again. So the Thundercloud of Set gets shuffled back into the deck. So randomly shuffling the location deck. Wow, pretty challenging there. Rolling the d10 to see which card is on top. It's going to be the 7th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we will reset Drelm's hand. He gets a bunch of weapons, some armor, stained glass elemental. Okay, pretty cool. Alright, we are going to advance the Blessings deck, and we get the Curse of Withering. Wow, that is really going to hurt. So we have to display that in front of us, and now we will explore. So we get this villain, the Vanth. So before you act, suffer a scourge. Okay, so right off the bat, we have to suffer a scourge. Well, the scourge die in level 4. Let's go ahead and see what the scourge die is for level 4. I'm pretty sure it's a d6. So scourge die on level 4. Wow, it's actually a 1d8. So we have to roll 1d8 for the scourge table. We rolled a 6. Okay, so the scourge is the Curse of Withering, which we already have. Okay, that is some consolation. So it's a combat 13. We do have this Staff of the Uraeus. We'll go ahead and do that. Strength melee plus 1d6 plus 2. I think if we just do that, we'll have enough to defeat it. Actually, you know what? We're not going to take any chances. We got 3 weapons. We're going to go ahead and discard this. So we're going to do strength melee plus 4d4. So 4d4, assembling our dice. Gathering the dice, 4d4. Rolling, and also a d10. So what's going to be interesting is, since we have the Curse of Withering, we have to replace the d10 with a d8. Okay, so we have all these dice. I think that will still be enough to defeat the Vanth. We're adding 5 to this roll. Alright, so we rolled a 4, which became a 5, and another 4, which became a 5. So we got 10, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, plus 5, 27. Okay, the Bane is banished. We're going to reset Drelm's hand, and now we will advance the Blessings deck. Blessing of the Elements, and we will explore. Okay, we get a Trigger Obstacle Sphinx. So Drelm has the, when you check against an obstacle, he can add his Divine Skill. Dexterity, Stealth, Wisdom, Perception. Okay, he can also do Wisdom. So his Wisdom is plus 2. His Divine Skill is plus 5. So we're adding 7 to this roll. Okay, feel pretty confident. So 7 and another 8, 15, sweet. Okay, so we have completed, we don't have to deal with the Collapsing Sphinx. So very happy about that. Drelm's hand looks good. Oh, you know what? We forgot. Let's go ahead and backtrack, because Collapsing Sphinx, we have to still take in effect the Curse of the Withering. So let's redo that. We had to roll 2d6 instead of the d8. And then, but we do still get to add 5, 6, 7. So 7. Okay, so we did make that check. So we did that correctly. We always have to remember that Curse of Withering affects all checks. So that really hurts. Okay, now the hand is fine. We are going to advance the Blessings deck. The Blessing of Pharasma. And we get the Evil Eye. Stealth, Knowledge, Arcane, Divine. Well, our Divine is a d8, which we're going to have to change because of the Curse of Withering. So this is level 4. It's increased by plus 8. Okay, so basically what we got here, it's a Trigger Curse Arcane Veteran. Alright, not a lot is going to help. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to turn that d6 into a, or d8 into a d6. We are going to use a Blessing of Nephis. So we'll just add another d6. And then what we're going to do, this is our Divine Skill. So we do still get to add 5 to the roll. So we get to add 5 to the roll. Rolling 2d6. Alright, so we rolled a 5, 6. And we added 5, so 11, 8, 9, 10, so we needed 14. We have the Stained Glass Elemental in our hand. We can recharge this card to add 1 plus the scenario's adventure deck number to the result of your check. So a real lifesaver. We get to add 5 to this roll. So adding 5 to this roll will turn that into a 6 then. So we have 11, and this is a divine check, which is plus 5. So we have 16, and we needed a 14. Alright, well, thanks to the stained glass elemental, we were able to avoid the evil eye. Well, still battling through, even though we got a Curse of the Withering, which really sucks. Okay, advancing the Blessings deck, it's a Blessing of the Elements, and we will explore. We get an Embalmer. So he's just Charisma Diplomacy. Drelm has Charisma D6. Alright, we roll a 5. So we're going to go ahead and we will go ahead and use this guy right away. We're going to discard this card to explore your location. So free exploration here. We get the Shock Lizard. He does have the electricity trait, so we have to remove a die. So normally our wisdom would be a D8, but through the curse of withering, it's a D6. But since we're at the Earthworks, we have to remove a die. So it means that our skill to acquire this boon is 0. So it's an auto fail. Okay, so he goes away. So looking at our hand, we got 2 good weapons, we got some armor, we got 2 armors, we got bird feather tokens. I think we'll just go for it. Advancing the Blessings deck, it's a Blessing of Horus. Alright, and he's back. The Thundercloud of Set. Okay, so he's immune to the electricity and poison trait. Wow. Man, I was hoping to use my Staff of the Uraeus, but it has the poison trait. Wow, I did not notice that. So that really, really sucks. So that means that since he's immune to the electricity and poison trait, our only option is to use the Natron Fang. Wow, this is going to hurt. Okay, Natron Fang, it's our strength, which is D10, and a D8. Okay, since we're at the Earthworks, we have to remove any one die. We'll remove the D8. Since we have the Curse of Withering, we'll go ahead and turn that into a D8. So, and that's all he has. So wow, that really hurts. Okay, so D8. We're going to roll D8, and this is our melee, so we're adding 4 to this roll. So we rolled an 8 plus 4 is 12. We needed a 21. We failed by 9. So this is electricity damage. We can banish this card to reduce electricity poison damage by 5. So we that's really not going to help. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plus 5 is 17, 18, 19. So we're going to still take 4 points of damage. It says here, what do we want to do? We do have this loot armor. We can bury this card to reduce cold combat electricity or poison damage dealt to 0. Okay, sweet. So we'll discard this card, take 0 electricity damage, but he still is going to do 1d4 electricity damage, because he has the if undefeated. So we do take an additional 1 point of damage. So here we will reach, actually, you know what? On the check. I don't know, I don't think we're allowed to do 2 armors, because we did 1 armor. So that was for that. Yeah, I don't think we can use 2 armors. How about that? So I think we are going to have to take 1 point of damage. So we kind of lucked out there. I'm going to go ahead and take the damage for that. Yeah, we can't use 2 armors, unfortunately. Alright, he goes back into the location deck. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 cards in the location deck. So I'm going to roll D4, see which card is on top. So the 4th card is on top. Then I'm going to reset my hand. I'm really thinking I'm going to reset the Natron Fang. No, I'll keep it. Okay, here we go. Alright, we're going to advance the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of Horus. We're going to explore. Okay, we get a Caravan Rider, Human Veteran. The difficulty to defeat is increased by the scenario's adventure deck number. So that would be a 4. So let's go ahead and put a 4 on him. So if undefeated, the Caravan Rider deals no damage, instead banish a boon. So we have to do a combat 9, 10, 13 check. So we do have the Natron Fang. So assembling our dice, it's a D10 and a D8. The Curse of Withering says we have to turn that into a D8 as well. So we'll do 2D8 and we're adding 4 to this roll. So we rolled 4 and 4 and 4 is 12. And we needed 9, 10, 11, we needed a 13. Wow. So what we did, we are using the Natron Fang. So it actually gives us a +1 there. Strength or melee plus 1d8 plus 1. Okay, so we actually made it. 8, 9 plus 4 is 13, and 9 plus 4 is 13. So we just made it on the dot. Okay, pretty cool. So, what we're going to do now is, I think there's only three cards left in the Blessings deck. There's 3 cards left in the Location deck. We don't have anything that's going to help us defeat the Thundercloud of Set. So we need to start thinking about getting cards that are going to help us out. So we're going to toss 3 cards, and we're going to draw 3 cards when we're resetting Drelm's hand. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to sure. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we're just looking at his hand there. We're advancing the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of Osiris, and we are exploring, and we get the Thundercloud of Set. Okay, we got some interesting options here. It's going to be, so he's immune to electricity and poison. I got the Embalming Fluid, but it says if the Bane has the Undead trait, we can ignore its immunities. It's not undead. Okay, so what we're dealing with here is right now Drelm doesn't have any weapons, so it's going to be a straight up melee check. Okay? Then but we do have this Elemental Mastery spell. Discard this card to add 1d10 to a check by a character at your location to defeat a monster that invokes the acid, cold, electricity, elemental, fire, or poison trait. Okay, it does have the electricity trait, so we are going to discard this card. And we're going to add another d10, so adding a d10 to that. We're also using Blessing of Pharasma. It says here, when a spell is played during any check, discard this card to add 2 dice to that check. Okay, well, we have a 2d10 going on here. So where's our 2d10? Of course, we do have the Curse of Withering, so all these d10s have to turn into d8s. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we got 4d8. This is a melee check, so we're adding 4 to this roll. Alright, let's see what happens. Wow, look at that. 1, 1, 1, 4. Well, that is quite laughable. Oh, and you know what? We used the Blessing of Pharasma, so that means we can't use the Blessing of Capri. Wow, what bad luck. Alright, we're going to use Bird Feather tokens. We'll recharge that to reroll one of these ones. Wow. Just wasn't meant to be. And it's a 1. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. 4, 5, 6, 7. And that means that we add 4. 11. So we fail by 9. So we'll take all that in damage. We'll discard our hand. I'm going to go ahead and see if I recharge the Elemental Mastery spell. Usually we could do an Arcane D6 or D8, but Curse of Withering makes it a D6. So 5 and 5 is 10. We need a 13, so we didn't recharge that card. So, and we have to take 1d4 damage, but we don't have any cards in our hand. So resetting Drelm's hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so he just barely had 5 cards left in his deck. So he survived that encounter. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and... So 3 cards left in the Location deck. Roll in a d6. It's going to be the middle card. And we will advance the Blessings deck. Okay, so Drelm in his hand, basically, he just has a Death Grip spell in his hand. So that means that he's just going to be able to roll a 3d8 or 3d6 thanks to Curse of Withering. So 3d6 plus 5. So he could possibly, with the Death Grip spell alone, defeat the defeat the. You know what? This might sound crazy, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna explore. Okay, we get Crocodile Skin Armor, Constitution Fortitude 6. Let's go ahead and see if we get this or not. Okay, we do acquire this armor. It can help out with the electricity damage, but we really don't have enough cards. We're gonna have to toss that. We're advancing the Blessings deck. That's the last card in the Blessings deck. Let's see if we get the Henchman, and we do. Okay, so this is gonna be a lot of fun because what we can do is we're just using the Death Grip spell. Death Grip spell is gonna be D8 plus 2d8. So of course the Curse of Withering turns those into d6s. So all we have is 3d6. We have 3d6 and we are adding a total of 5 to this roll. And that is it. Okay, 3d6, adding 5 to the roll. Whoa, check that out. That is amazing. So 6, 12, 18 plus 5. 18 plus 5, 18, 19, 20, 20, 23. that is hilarious. So it says here, after you act, if the check to defeat does not have the bludgeoning, dexterity, or ranged trait, recharge your hand. So this is really interesting because we made the check. That is amazing, right? So that is so cool. Even with the Curse of Withering, we made the check. It has, and we did the Death Grip spell. Okay, Death Grip says we don't have to do that after you act effect, but we still have to see if we take 1d4. It's undefeated. We defeated it. So that is so cool. So then what we're going to do here is if defeated, So of course what we have to do now is we have to see if we recharge our Death Grip spell. So we're rolling a d10 and we get to add 5 to this roll. So we need to roll a 5 or a 6. And check that out. Right on the dot. So we did it. 5. So we recharge our spell. That means that when we reset our hand, we have the exact 5 cards that we started with. So wow. And now it says, if defeated, you may immediately attempt to close the location this henchman came from. So it says here, when closing, bury an armor. Okay, and this is where, this was definitely haven't had a scenario like this, where I had such a bad roll and then such a tremendous roll. So it would be tragic not to be able to close this location. I mean, unfortunately, Drelm does not have an armor in his hand. I mean, he had the crocodile skin armor. He did toss it to keep the effigy of Matt, but looking back, he probably should have kept the armor and tossed the effigy of Matt. So I could do a quick shenanigan that way to say, oh yeah, I had an armor. So that's what I'm going to do, because this has been a very memorable adventure. I want Drelm to continue. I think he's really earned the right to move on and continue the campaign. I mean, he didn't die or anything. So yeah, let me know what you think. But so really, really happy with that. We are closing out this location. We're going to mark that as a success. So let's go ahead and see what the reward of that scenario was. Wow, that was really challenging. That Curse of the Withering. Whew. We have to really figure out ways to get rid of those curses, because man, that is brutal. Okay, let's go ahead and look at Drelm's deck here. Let's see what he's got here. So there's a spell. Death Grip. It turned out to be quite the really cool spell for Drelm. So let's go ahead and do a quick deck check here. I think I have enough battery life in my camera, but if for some reason it shuts off, I'll just keep this video, because man, this has been an exciting adventure. I'm really happy with it. So here is the state of Drelm's deck. Yeah, interesting how that had the poison traits. Let me move the camera over a little bit there. Alright, so here's what we got. This is the state of Drelm's deck. He didn't really acquire that much of new loot, but the reward for this scenario was this henchman, or I should say, this, what do they call? They're called allies. So Irayu. So he gains Irayu, not really interested in Irayu. Irayu is going to go straight to a trader because Drelm wants to trade some stuff. The reward for this scenario was actually a card feat. So let's look at Drelm's cards here. So what kind of card? So right now, Drelm, as you can see, always gets a little fuzzy there in the end there. I'll have to keep it like that. So Drelm has 3 weapons, 3 spells. He's got 3 armor, 3 items, 3 allies, and 4 blessings. So we want to increase his spells to 4. That's what we're going to do. So since we're increasing his spells to 4, we are now going to go to a trader that specializes in spells. So we are going to go to our buddy Hayden Hopper. We're going to see what Hayden Hopper's offering us for spells. So once again, if the camera cuts off, I'll let you know what Drelm, what he does get spell wise. So Hayden Hopper says he's offering us spells of level 3, 4, or that's it, level 3 or 4. Okay, cool. So Hayden Hopper says, look, you just got a new spell slot. Why don't you take a Smite Abomination spell? Let's go ahead and zoom out there. I don't know what's with the glare here today. Maybe that'll help out. So we got Smite Abomination. We can just add 2d6 to a combat check. This one is Elemental Skin, Symbol of Pain, display this card outside. I mean, that one's pretty interesting. Elemental Skin. This is only for like 1d6. You know, I'm not really too impressed with these spells. I mean, if I were to pick something, I guess I'd pick Symbol of Pain. It's very situational. But you know what's really cool? Is Drelm is going to say no to all these spells. You know why? Because he's tired of dealing. He's going to say bye, Hayden Hopper. So Drelm has now 4 spell slots, and these are his spells. But he doesn't want to have to deal. He's got 4 spell slots. He's got 3 spells. So now I am in the pickle, so to speak, or I'm in the situation where Drelm has to make a legal deck. So what is he going to do? He is going to go ahead, since he has to make a legal deck, I can give him the Remove Curse spell. So full fold, just like he started, he's getting it back so that in the future we're better prepared to deal with that Curse of Withering, because whew, that was a game changer. Alright, well that's the state of Drelm's deck. Thanks for watching. This adventure was really cool, and I will have another adventure up shortly. Alright, thank you.